In the rivalry between the U.S. and China, the biggest flashpoint remains Taiwan and the billions of dollars in arms the U.S. sells to the self-governing island that Beijing claims as its own. Yet there are mixed signals from President Trump on support for Taiwan.
President Xi would like us not to, and I'll have that discussion.
With China's leader Xi Jinping warning any mishandling by the U.S. could jeopardize relations. Beijing wants Trump to delay or even scale back weapons deals, including a $14 billion package in limbo for months. On Air Force One, President Trump acknowledged that Xi asked him directly if he would defend Taiwan.
He asked you if you would send troops, if you would ask me if I'd defend them. I said, I don't talk about that.
After Tom's interview with Secretary of State Marco Rubio this week,
nothing has changed in the way the U.S. views the relationship with Taiwan. It will defend Taiwan, as has been.
U.S. policy on the issue of Taiwan is unchanged as of today.
Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs thanking the United States for, quote, clarifying that it supports and values Taiwan's stray peace. But concerned that America may no longer have Taiwan's back, Taiwan is expanding its own defense industry, producing drones. Companies like Thunder Tiger, that got its start making remote-control cars, now pivoting to drones for military use. Low cost, high volume, and built without any components made in China.
We have the capacity and the capability to set up our own fortress, the manufacturing fortress here. And best of all, it's non-red.
That non-red meaning not Chinese supply chain. Thunder Tiger, the biggest drone maker here, has its own motor factory. So how many pieces a day?
There's about 1,000 pieces per day, and then there's roughly about 33 pieces per second.
The motors made here end up on drones like this. This is an attack drone, and this one company is making 2,000 a month. Taiwan's drone industry grew out of lessons learned from Ukraine, where the war with Russia transformed what were specialized tools into cheap weapons and shown how much drones have shaped the battlefield. But the real catalyst here is China. Taiwan's government is pouring $1.4 billion into developing drones. Heavy armor still has a role, but in Taiwan's terrain, it's more constrained and vulnerable. The U.S. is also interested in Taiwan's air and sea drones to reduce reliance on drones made in China.
You want to shift from foreign military sales, which take a long time to deliver, to direct commercial sales, which are dual-use kind of technologies that can deliver faster.
With uncertainty in Taiwan about how far the U.S. might go to defend the island, drones are seen as a way to scale up and buy time.
All right, Janis joins us now here live in Beijing. So, Janis, the big question, how does Taiwan view what happened this week here in China?
Well, with those comments by President Trump and Secretary Rubio, Taiwan has taken the chance to weigh in a statement to remind people that China's military is routinely doing drills around the island and engaging in so-called gray zone tactics. China has never made any secret of its ambitions to unify Taiwan with the mainland, and it's why Taiwan has watched this summit so closely and has been messaging for weeks and pointing to those recent weapons sales as evidence for China that U.S. support for Taiwan is still there.
What are the lasting impacts, you think, of this summit?
Well, this summit came at a critical time for the U.S., for China, and for the world, for that matter. And the goal from the outset seemed to be stability, for these leaders to prove that they could cooperate or at least manage tensions. And that, for the most part, has happened, but on Chinese terms.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when President Xi comes to Washington later this year. Janis, we thank you for all your reporting this week. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.